Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. As promised, we have got into that sports discussion. And today's topic, we're looking into opportunities in Kenyan sports. Yes, there are opportunities. For instance, did you know that there's a sport known as Footvolley? Yeah. So we're going to dig deep into that, but look at the overview of sports in Kenya as well. Are there career opportunities that you can actually major in and make a living out of it? And for that particular discussion, I have been joined by an expert in this area. She goes by the name Muasa. She is a dynamic entrepreneur, a sports enthusiast, and a visionary leader from Machakos, currently based in Nairobi. Her passion lies in blending sports, business, and innovation to create impactful opportunities for individuals and communities. And in this particular discussion, she is the founder and head coach of Kenya Footvolley League. Karibu sana Masi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you, and I'm excited about this particular topic. I personally did not know about Footvolley.
All right. Well, I'm here to shed the light on it.
All right. Okay. So before I get to you, I want people to just understand what Footvolley is. And there's a video that you shared from the league, I believe. So let's have it. Let's have it. This is Footvolley. Yeah, so that's Footvolley for you. Yes, there's actually something like that. So Mercy, tell us, this sport, particular sport, it's different from volleyball. How is it different?
It is different in that in volleyball, first off, Footvolley is a fusion of football and beach volleyball, specifically beach volleyball, because it's played by 2 players. In the normal volleyball, it's 6 players. Beach volleyball, it's 2 players. Again, the football aspect is the fact that you play with every part of your body but your hands. In football, you're not supposed to touch the ball.
Yeah.
So this is where the fusion comes in. You play on a volleyball court, on a beach court, on a sand court, whereby this football is a beach sport. So since in most of the areas in Kenya are not in the coastal region, and we still need to tap the talent that is out here, we have to create courts that have sand on them. Yes.
Okay, so it's merging the beach volleyball and football, because there's no hand involved, as you've seen in that video. There's no hand, touching the ball. It's the head, it's the feet. The exchange, quite interesting. Do we have a lot, because as you've said rightfully, we don't have a lot of beach in Kenya. Mombasa, yes. Probably it's common in Mombasa, but people in these other regions, I don't know if it's there in Kisumu, because they should be, because at least we have a lake in Kisumu. But these other regions, do we have as many in Nairobi, in Machakos, in Nakuru, different areas? Nakuru, there should be. Yeah.
Actually, you've picked all the areas that we have Footvolley actively being played, and the athletes are training. We started with Machakos. I come from Machakos. I have to start with
from
the community.
Home.
That is right. Okay. And we've stretched from After Machakos, we did the coastal region from Malindi all the way to Kwale, and the reception has been good because being 2 players, there are a lot of athletes, especially in football. Mostly the footballers have taken up Footvolley because this is ball control, and they are good at ball control. So it has been easy for even athletes who have not been able to chase their career fully in football to transition into Footvolley.
Okay, it's interesting. So, because even in football, for athletes who have accidents, injuries, and they're not able to pursue football as a career, they can do Footvolley, right?
Yes. And you see, the thing about injuries in sports, most of the time a player will get an injury, and once they go out, they will not be able to come back. The reason being the time has elapsed, there are new energies, new talents, your sport is taken and your sport is gone. And this is why most people always feel like there's no career in sports, because the moment you get out, coming back in is a challenge. And it can be curbed in so many ways. First off, new opportunities for players. Personally, I've been in different sports. One, thanks to injury, I had to transition from being a rugby player to being a kabaddi player. You see? Yes, and having these new opportunities, it is a good place for people to get back into sports. At some point, I hung my boots and I was like, I'm done with sports. Let me just go do business because I can't do this anymore.
But it's interesting. Now you're actually doing a sports business, and we'll get to that. It's very encouraging to see a young lady for that matter, doing a sports business, being a founder of such an incredible federation, and you'll tell us about that. But from what you've said, I think it's once a sportsman, always a sportsman, and that applies to both genders.
That is right.
So if this one does not really work for you, you can transition easily to another because you have the sports passion in you, so you can do any type of sports. Before we also get back to Footvolley, just looking at the overview of the Kenyan sports, how is the Kenyan sports currently? How has it evolved over time? Before, and then you tell us what opportunities it presents.
First off, Kenyan sports and sports in general, it's one of them, the core economic development institutes that we have. Actually, being an athlete should put you in a place where people respect the discipline, the hard work that is put in sports, and should be able to pay you as much as you've put into it. But there's a gap in between somewhere, and this gap, I feel it is coming with lack of knowledge in understanding how the sports dynamics work, and it should be viewed differently, and this has been happening, and we have seen a change from how sports were 10 years ago to how they are right about now. And the transition has come with support from especially the Ministry of Sports. There are different aspects and changes that have come, and areas that have been improved that are now helping the Kenyan athlete to get to where they want to be.
What areas would you say have you seen improvements that now promising, better future for athletes in sports?
One, there's the update in the school curriculum where we have PHE as a subject.
PHE?
PHE
PHE,
as a subject. And this is going to be directly affect your performance in school, where if you're good in the sports, it is going to reflect on your results, eventually on your performance. And this is a good start. Also, we have the academies like the Kenya Academy of Sports. These academies are now trying to help and grow different sports in the country. We also have things like Talanta Hela. This is about monetizing the talent. And these are good avenues and good areas that are going to put our sports on a whole new level.
Okay, interesting. When you have said PHE, so I know of PE that we were doing. I feel like I'm old. PE, and it was just the other day. You know, it was taken lightly. Nile yenye tisha wa maths atakuja sema, leo, you know, tutafanya, nisijui mbona PE ilikuwa inapatia tisha wa maths, so anaamua siku ya PE ni maths, you know, and you do not go to the field, and so people like me, I've not been sporty because I was not exposed to sports a lot, because I didn't like football, but I didn't know there were other sports until I got maybe to high school, and I tried hockey, and it did not work for me as well, you know. So having a subject, it's quite something. So what does PHE stand for?
This is the physical health education.
Physical health education.
Yes. And it is being taken up as a subject because we've seen so many people wanting to play, and even your parent will tell you sports won't take you anywhere. You need to focus on your studies.
True.
And eventually you focus on your studies, and eventually you come to realize, I really need to go back to sports. That is why you'll see in Kenya, the career peak of an athlete is at their 30s. But in other countries, like in the European countries, the peak of an athlete is in their late teen and early 20s.
That's very true.
Yes.
I've actually taken in right from high school, you
Yes.
know, they have sponsorship to the university because
And
they are
they've been
good players.
training from when they were kids.
Exactly.
So PHE has come in as a very good platform whereby, like right about now, Kabaddi is a subject in grade 5. So kids in grade 5 know Kabaddi before anyone else out here knows about it.
Wow.
And this is where we are going towards developing Footvolley in Kenya, that eventually it will be included in the school system, and people will, and the next generation will be able to take it up, and it will be another sporting career that athletes will look forward to.
All right. Out of curiosity, what is Kabaddi? Because I'm trying to act like I know Kabaddi, but I do not know Kabaddi.
Amazing. Kabaddi is a contact sport. And the first time I played Kabaddi was in 2016. And I was fortunate enough to be in Kabaddi in the national team for the Kenya, for Kenya. And this was also after coming from a club in rugby. So Kabaddi is a contact sport.
Contact sport.
Yes, and it has been easy for players who have played rugby to take up Kabaddi because there's no ball involved. It's a contact sport, and all you have to do is be in contact with the player to make a point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit
related to rugby, but only that there's no ball involved.
Yes, there's no ball involved. Yeah, you should have them. It's Kabaddi right about now. It's one of the most decorated sports in Kenya, with a lot of medals from bronze to silver. And seeing it grow in a very short period of time, it has been the spice. There's a lot of excitement in the sport. Yeah, you should find the players and
I think I should.
Conversation with them.
I should, and I will. Interesting. What about the ladies in sports? As a lady in sports, has it grown over time? Because for the longest time, you know, ladies are not as recognized in sports, or there are not many that are involved or even celebrated in sports. Even look at how people in the world generally watch Manchester versus Arsenal, and it's all men's games. But I also understand that they have females in the same class, but people do not really watch as much as, you know,
And apparently even sports like football, for example, Chelsea FC for the women team performs better than the men team.
Look at that. I mean, what to a Chelsea? They could just have won to the ladies' team.
Yes. There's a way the women approach sports differently. Even women themselves will tell you this is a male-dominated industry. They won't give it their all. And those that give it their all, they are not as many as the men give it their all. I mean, we are more women in the country than the men, but the men dominate it because it's already in them. They already appreciate it. They already take it up. But the women, you'll be in sport. Very few people, even we have lesser fans in sports than the men.
True.
I think it's just a misconception. Yes, and also when it comes to challenges, the women face the same challenges as the men. There's no big difference, and the challenge is only in trying to understand how the sports industry works. Once we understand that, everyone will be able to tap into it, both men and women.
So it's mostly the perception that we've had over a long time that, you know, this is for men, it's a male-dominated space.
Yes.
So we need to change that perception and embrace it for ourselves, and even start loving sports as women. You know, just watch football, support a team, not because your employer is supporting it, but because you understand the sports, right?
Yes.
And then that's how we also just support the ladies that are inside. Now, when you're talking about the opportunities that are in sports, you have mentioned the many things that at least the ministry has tried to put in place that promises a good future. But looking back at some of the famous sports people in Kenya, like Oliech, you know, in the football side, and others, for some time, you know, people have felt that our sports people, even in the races,
the athletes,
the athletes, it gets to a time where it's like they don't have money. And they're saying, you know, I have played for this country, I've represented this country internationally, yet the government doesn't really recognize them as they do to other people. So how is that now?
I'll give you a fact. There are opportunities, yes. People go to places and actually people get paid. Going out of Kenya as a team, you have to be the government, the ministry will give you the blessings, will give you the funding, and actually people get paid to represent the country. The moment you've won the Kenyan jersey, you are funded and all is well. But the biggest challenge that people need to understand is that, allow me to even address everyone out here.
Please do.
The biggest challenge we have is people understanding that money is spiritual.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Finances can come and go. You only need to understand how, how to put a foundation on that. Because one minute a player will get an opportunity to represent the country, they'll get paid, and all this will get into their heads first. Instead, I've worked so hard, I've made it, I got paid. Now all of a sudden you want to change your life. All of a sudden you want to leave the block. You need to be grounded. You need to understand that this is a position of it's by God's grace, actually.
Okay.
Working hard is not about me, that I've worked hard, I've gotten where I am, but it's because I have a purpose to be here. And the purpose is to make a difference. And the difference is to make sure that everybody is grounded in the right manner. So if you do not understand your finances, you're going to be broke. Okay. And these things we are not taught in sports. Yeah, you need your church leader, you need your community, you need your family to teach you these things. Yeah. So it's not just about you waking up and going for trainings. Yeah, it's all round. You understanding the purpose. Why are you even playing in the first place? Unataka kutoka block 2. Then what?
If that is the motivation, then
yes, you're going to get there, and then you'll go back to. And now there's shame that comes with you being a national team player and people seeing you in the streets. There's a shame that comes with that.
With celebrities, because now you become a celebrity.
Exactly. There's a shame that comes with that, in that you'll be like, how will people see me? How will people perceive me? I've already made you feel like we do not belong in the same space. So this will push people into depression. This will push athletes into depression. If you can look back, you can realize that we've lost so many athletes. Suicide and all that, drug abuse and whatnot.
True.
There's a lot of knowledge that needs to be passed on this level, and setting up foundations, especially for the ministry, it's not enough. We need our athletes to be woke. You'll be wondering why. I've rubbed shoulders with the best athletes I've played in the European leagues, I've gone beyond, but still nothing much is changing in me.
Wow. So it's about, I love that, it's about knowing why you're playing in the first place. What purpose are you serving as a player? And then that should be the drive and not you getting out of the block kuambia niliwaambia nita make it by the way nimetoka get lakini nimetoka anyway. Yeah, so it shouldn't be about the money, but about what drives you should be bigger than the money, right? And that's the perception that needs to change. Now this education, how do they get it? At least now for the young kids, they might get that through the CBC system. Yeah, but for the athletes that are already there, who should give them this education? Because also the problem of drug abuse is a very common challenge among the sportsmen and women. So who is responsible for this?
I think it's the church.
Really?
Yes. There's a lot of education that goes in church that people, you see, growing up, your parents pushed you to go to church. But at some point you were like, you got to work. You decided, hey, church is for people who are ain't work, who don't understand nothing. And this is where now the lessons are happening. This is where you won't meet people out here. Let's say it's on a Friday, we have to party. You won't discuss that. You'll be discussing how are we going to make more money? How are we going to do this? It's not about the money. It's about grounding yourself and everything else will follow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you need to ground yourself, and the church has a role to play in this. So secular government, ministry, you did this and that. All right. Now, what's for someone who's talented in sports and has not seen that as a career opportunity, how is that a career opportunity? What opportunities are there?
There are massive and widespread opportunities. One, we have the athletes. If you train, eventually you're going to play in big stages and you're going to get paid. And you are going to monetize your talent. We have talent a hella for that. At the same time, there are areas about officials, officiating. We need officials, we need referees. This is also another area because we can't have a good match without well-grounded officials who understand integrity, giving a good game. Yeah, you see, we don't want our referees bribed for a team to win. We want good referees with integrity and all that. So this is also another career where if you choose, I can't play, I love the sport. Let me chase the officiating.
I think I love that because you don't have to really know how to play that sport, but you really love the sport. So let me just read that.
If you love the sport, you'll understand the sport, but you can't play the sport. There's something you can do in that area. Okay. You see, like a Footvolley match, it's 2 teams of 4 players, but the officials have to be 6 during a match.
So they're even more
than their players.
Look at that.
Yes. At the same time, they are also now the media team. We live in the digital world right about now. We need people who can create content. We need people who can, you see, the digital world needs, the sports need the digital world.
So I can be in sports, like, you know, with my media skills, I can just come in and say, I want to create content for, you know, the games that are being played, share it, edit it, you know, put it out there.
That is right. We also have the events management team. Yes, you know how to organize events. We are athletes, we are officials. How are we going to do? We have a platform, but we don't know how to get it out here. Now you are good at administrative skills and whatnot at the same time. We need committees to run these areas at the same time. So there are so many things that can be done.
So much that you can do. So whatever area that you're gifted in, as long as you also just love the sport, you can align yourself to it. Literally anything. I think even catering, because you need to eat at the end of the day.
That is right.
Yeah, and even the commentators for people who have a good voice and they, you know, they know how to give out to, you know, hey, go. How they commentate. It's interesting. So any path that you're in and you love sports, you can tap into that.
You can tap into that. You can be in corporate and you love sports. The CSR bit of it will help you get known out here because you're giving back to it's your corporate social responsibility. Yes, you have to give back. And we have so many companies in Kenya. We have so many corporates. And these are, the way I see it now, as an athlete, most athletes just want to board a plane, go play outside, come back home, and that is the glory that they need. What they need to understand is there's a lot that can be done at home. If we can have impressive leagues, good sports, very beautiful display of skills, then even the fans will want to see a good game.
Yeah.
And this is when you realize so many people actually are interested in sports. I mean, we've known there are mainstream sports in Kenya that we already know, but if we get more sports on board and having incredible leagues going on, then we'll have attention drawn back into our home.
Awesome, awesome, wonderful. Now I wanted you to tell us about your federation that you have come up with, that you founded rather. How did that come about, and how are you creating opportunities for players even to get to that international stage?
Footvolley came about in 2023, but at first I didn't know how to go about it in that, well, I've been in other sports as an athlete, as a coach, as a referee, and now it got to a point I felt I can do more. And I want to do more.
Wow.
And I just stumbled upon Footvolley on YouTube. And first I didn't understand what it was. And apparently there are different versions of Footvolley. And others have quite hard names. I haven't gotten them. But they are different. Just a little bit of difference in the sports. Now, Footvolley, I decided to do registration through the Ministry of Sports. Of course, you have to be given the permission. You have to be certified to do this.
You can just come and just say, we're starting this sport in Kenya.
So once I went ahead to start registration and all that, of course, there are criteria that I had to follow to get certified. First, I must have a committee of people who are qualified to hold this office. And from the registration, again, one key need for the registration that I had to have was the first question I was asked: how do you know Footvolley? How you qualified to be a Footvolley coach? And at this point I realized I needed the knowledge. So I realized that there was Footvolley in Ghana, in international tournament that was coming up. I went to Ghana, I got trained, I came back, and the papers were approved. So now this was the start now of Footvolley. Even when I went for training, this is when I realized that I fell in love with Footvolley from the word go. And it has been out of the love and the passion that came with it that we have been able to develop Footvolley now. We were registered in May 2024. We've, since then up to now, we've had 5 regions out of 8 regions in Kenya are now playing Footvolley.
Wow,
yes.
That's a short duration and you've done a lot with it. Clearly you have the passion for it.
That is right.
Wonderful. I understand that. So now, before I even get to that, when you started, how did you get players now to understand the game? Did you train them, and then did you use them again to train the other people in the other county? You know, how did you go about it?
We've done a lot of development in different regions. This was with the fact that I've been in another sport that we were developing, and this is kabaddi. Now when we were developing kabaddi, we got to travel like across the country. And with this, I have a network of people that all I could do was, hey, there's this new opportunity. Can we tap into it? Yes, please, come, let's do this. So I would find a team ready for me to go train in all these regions. So with that, now, after now, these are also athletes who maybe they haven't gotten opportunities in other sports, but they just want to play. So it has been easy for them to take up the sport. Football is a bit, actually, somewhat easy once you understand it and it gets into you. And with that, from that we've been able to hold regional tournaments and even national tournaments. And 2025 looks good.
2025 looks good.
That is right.
Great. I understand that there's one that's coming up soon. I believe it's is it Mombasa?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
That will be in Nyali Beach and on 15th of February. we are looking forward to, actually we have so many people super excited right about now. This is when I'm realizing, oh, you people have actually realized we are here and we're doing this. And we have athletes from all these regions will be at the venue. They'll be participating. It is just our New Year tournament. This is where we're getting into the year. This is just a test of what we will be doing throughout the year.
All right, yes. Wonderful. So this is the first of many that are happening in the year.
That is right.
Okay. And I understand that you're also registered to FKKA. That's the Federation of... no, I've gotten it wrong.
This is KFL. Kenya Footvolley.
No, I'm not talking about that. The international body.
Oh, the international body. Right about now, what is happening out here is that we have the World Footvolley League, we have the European Footvolley League, and we have the African Footvolley League. These are the leagues that we are under. And now, football is a new sport. And to have an international federation, there must be a couple of continents playing the sport.
All right.
Now, to play the sport, you either need a national federation, but you can't have a national federation without the international federation. So what do? This is why we registered football in Kenya as the Kenya Footvolley League, so that we can just start introducing the sport to everyone. And it is through what we have been doing actually in the past 1 year, that right about now we have countries that were interested in Africa to play, but they've never taken it up seriously. But right about now we have 9 countries, and as Kenya we are the 3rd registered country in Africa.
Okay.
Yes.
We're doing well.
The other 9, the other six countries, they have taken it up. They are now training, and we're looking forward to having a body that now will govern football in Africa. And now with these 9 countries, we've given the International Federation another power to. We've added Africa into the
scene. Okay, that's quite interesting. The one that I was looking for is the international tournament that is going to happen in partnership with Association Footvolley for All, an Austrian-based organization. Tell us about that.
Through our social media engagement, and this is on Instagram to be precise, this organization reached out and they were like, we love what you're doing in Kenya. AFA is Association Footvolley for All. And what they're doing is helping put footvolley out there. So when they saw us on Instagram, they were like, we would love to come to Kenya and help you train, bring you some equipment, improve your infrastructure. And we were like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, this is what we need. If you're going to put us in the European platform, we are going to take it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wonderful. And this just goes to show how vocal you have been about footvolley and just marketing it out there. So how instrumental is the digital platforms now, even when we're talking about sports?
It is instrumental first in that every morning anyone with a smartphone, what they do when they wake up is go into their social media. Before you even decide, it's time for me to get out for work, it's time for me to do ABCD, they'll first go into the. So this means there's viewership, there's a great, it's an opportunity for us to merge into it. I mean, we are in a new era. If we have digital platform, let's just use the digital platform. It's it's been a year, since almost a year, and I've never had the push to do this kind of media approach.
Media,
we decided let's first do the social media first, and then we will come to this platform eventually. And here we are. Now we are able to talk about it because you have a lot that we've been cooking. Now it's time to serve.
You have all the evidence everywhere on social media, on the digital spaces. So everyone's talking about it. It's even easier to get the recognition in the media platform platforms. It should apply, I believe, to even across different fields, not just sports. Social media is now the in thing, you know. Now, even as we come to a close on this, sports as a business, basically what you are doing, how can one get to that? Because if someone feels that they want to be the managerial administrative positions, how is it like, what does it take to get to that?
You need to do your research, because not unless you're interested in something, you won't find it. Now, I came across Footvolley on YouTube. I was doing other sports. I was checking out other sports. Then I stumbled upon Footvolley, and this is what happened. If you want something to come out, you have to go in with faith and be like, I want to learn about this. I want to study this. Actually, since high school, I never joined campus. I just went into business, I just went into sports.
Wow.
And I felt like everything I know right about now, I'm also a graphics designer and I'm running a couple of businesses. And at the same time, I felt I won't wait for someone to come and teach me. I won't go to school and spend money so that I can learn this skill. We have YouTube. I've learned everything I know on YouTube, even coaching skills and all that.
Really?
Even, yes. And it is after getting to this point, the only challenge I've received is to study leadership. And right about now, I'm a student at a fearless institution, and I'm pursuing leadership. Yes, and otherwise, every other skill that I need, I can always go
and
to
get
YouTube
it.
and get it.
I love that. I mean, not being able to afford college for this, because we have people who have just finished high school and they're not able to afford college, and they feel like, I'm done. My life is you know, it's not an excuse. You can be whatever you want to be. Just get the skills from this platform. There are a lot of platforms that give free courses. We have YouTube. YouTube, you get everything there. Literally get everything. So you just get the skills and do what you want to do. Let that not be a hindrance, right? I think that's a great way to close this up. But I want to just to finish looking at the camera, telling the viewer, is sports a viable career in Kenya? And even as you answer that, tell us what platforms people can get you in, and how they can even join for those that are around Nyali or they want to come for the tournament.
Amazing. I've actually remembered another career opportunity. We have people who have done tailoring, and they always feel, it's nothing. But you see this, it's made by a Kenyan.
Look at that.
And it's just another opportunity where you can sell your merchandise to these sporting federations, leagues and clubs and all that.
Wow.
So at the same time, we will be having the tournament on 15th of February, and we are looking forward. We are really, really excited. And actually, we didn't even mention about sponsorships and all that. But we'll urge people who are willing and would love to support the Kenyan industry, sports industry. I mean, this is one way. The most populated space in the industry is in Kenya is just the youth bracket, and if you'd want to support the youth bracket, this is another way. If there's a spot somewhere, just go in, give your support. It could be partnership. It doesn't have to be monetary anytime, all the time. Maybe you have a media company that you want to grow, and you'd offer even to give live stream for free. You know, there are so many ways that we can help, and just give you all. Let's support our youth. Let's support the opportunities that are there, and let's not feel like we have to wait for someone to come give us what we already have. We have it, we just have to tap into it. We are the Footvolley Kenya. Please kindly follow us on our socials. Footvolley Kenya on all social media platforms. See you on the 15th at Nyali Beach. And allow me to mention the Sports 360. They are our partners, and others whom we are still yet to reveal towards the event.
Wow, wonderful. This has been great. Thank you so much, Mercy, for sharing, pouring out your knowledge in this area and encouraging our audience. you know. So I
Amazing,
hope you've
thank
been
you.
encouraged by this. There are opportunities in sports, that sports is indeed a viable career for you. Whatever you're doing, whatever skills you have, you can actually direct it in sports. And you can even offer whatever services you have, and you know, you never know, it'll grow into something big. This has been Muasa, the founder and head coach of Kenya Footvolley League, talking to us about opportunities in Kenyan sports. Right about now, we're going to take a short break, and then Brand Sakwa will be coming up next with a very interesting conversation on matters Valentine's. What pressures are you facing? Yeah, and how are you dealing with that? So talk to us on our social media platforms. Hashtag Y in the morning at Y254 channel. My personal handle is at Stephanie Ayeta. We take a short break. We'll be right back.
Y254 Imagine.